If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new songs in the description. So Drake and 21 Savage just announced that they're going to be dropping their new album, Her Loss, this Friday on October 28th. And we don't have any more info on this other than the announcement that I'm just showing y'all, because that was at the end of the Jimmy Cooks video for the Drake and 21 Savage song, obviously. But there are a couple of things that people want on this album and a couple of theories on it that we're going to talk about right now, because it's getting very interesting. It's only like 3 days until the release, so we really got to, get down to the nitty gritty of this and break this down. So let's some shade into this. I want to say real quick that the Ben's Music hoodie is really comfortable, and if you're looking for a comfortable hoodie at a reasonable price, make sure to go check out the link right below this video and also in the YouTube, merch bar to get that hoodie, because it's dope. I can only recommend it. I was busy browsing on the Drake subreddit, as you are when, an album is dropping by that artist and you want to get all the latest information on this, and maybe, a couple of leaks here and there. We've been very successful with the Drake leaks. I can only recommend you go watch that video last week I did on basically predicting everything that happened with the 21 Savage record. But on there I found this interesting tweet that someone reposted with their own thoughts on this that I wanted to show y'all guys today, because maybe there is some information in there that gets you inspired for this album, and I want y'all to add to this as well and add your wishes for this album in the comments down below, and let's have a great discussion about this as a community. So let's look at this. So this guy on Reddit reposted a tweet by a guy named Lateral Phillips. Now, really don't know who that is, probably just some no-name that composed this tweet, but he made it on the subreddit on the front page. And he said in this tweet, how I think the Drake and 21 Savage Her Loss album should be formatted. Now, formatted is a very interesting word, but, I was kind of like, what does he mean by that? But then he goes on to explain it. So there are a couple of things that he lists right here that he wants to have on this album. Let's start with the first one, no more than 10 tracks. Now, no more than 10 tracks is interesting because I don't think that will actually be the case. I think that this thing will have over 10 tracks. I don't think it'll be completely very long. I think 10 to 15 will likely be the range. We've seen on the Future and Drake record that it was also, I think it was a little above 10, but something like that, likely will happen. I think that no more than 10 is a little too optimistic. I also find it funny how nowadays we're talking about being optimistic about it having lesser, fewer tracks, because we just get so many big track albums. Anyway, let's continue. 4 Memphis samples similar to Jimmy Cooks and Knife Talk, and we'll get into that in a second, because there's something another person commented on this that kind of adds to this further. The second one is 4 Metro Boomin produced tracks. Now this one is pretty dope because obviously Metro Boomin is very closely working with 21 Savage. Also, he's dropping his own album, Heroes vs. Villains, or Heroes and Villains, on, I think it's November 4th, so the week after, which is pretty dope. So he will likely play a big role in this one. Metro Boomin also played a big role in Drake's latest collab album, What a Time to Be Alive, obviously. I mean, that was 7 years ago, but still Metro played a big role in that one as well with Future. So likely they're going to link up too, because they have that double connection. Drake got that connection, also 21 Savage got that connection. The next one is a solo track from Drizzy and Savage individually. That will likely also happen. We see all the big artists do this with their collab albums. We've seen Drake do it with Future when they did the Jersey and 30 on 30 freestyle, and we've seen, for example, just to name another example, Lil Baby and Gunna on their tape Drip Harder with what was it? It was The World Is Yours and The Deep End, I believe, something like that. So that's kind of what he has for these individual tracks. But the last one I think is interesting. He says 1 feature from J. Cole, and I find it funny how the only feature wish on here is just J. Cole. It's no other art, just J. Cole. 1 feature. That's enough. I like that. I mean, if we get a J. Cole feature on here, damn, y'all know how happy I would be. That would be completely insane, because J. Cole can definitely adapt to both of their styles. He's done features with Drake in the past. He's done features with 21 in the past. So it's not like he's not known to either of them. So I think that was actually a pretty good chance that we'll actually get a Cole feature on there, but I don't want to put it up there as like a given, but maybe there's some truth to that. Now I want to, say something real quick before all the comments, come in, and I think one of the people on Reddit perfectly summed this up by saying, doing this type of stuff only sets the stage for disappointment when the album doesn't perfectly fit your expectations. And this is of course very true, because we've done that in the past. The Lil Baby album was a bit ruined by that too. I can't even lie. My expectations probably took away a little bit from the enjoyability that I got from that album. But as I always say, what's the point of being an active, hip-hop community and loving an artist together, pause, no homo, that we can't really talk about, what they're dropping and what we expect from their drops. That's like if you're sitting in a room with your friends, you would also talk about that. And I'm just kind of replacing that by making a video for people to kind of connect on. And I don't want to ruin this album for anyone. If you don't want to tap into any speculations, then just don't, get into it. Otherwise, you probably also wouldn't have clicked on this video. But I just wanted to throw that out there because a lot of people always say this when I talk about new albums coming out, and I'm kind of giving my own expectations on them. But obviously, I'm going into this with an objectively as possible mind that I got on this one, and just try to let the music speak for itself. But of course, I'm gonna make a couple of wishes beforehand. It wouldn't be a new Drake release without us making like theories about it. Come on, man, that wouldn't be right. What I wanted to get into with the more soul and jazz samples that the other person just kind of connected to it in the tweet. One other person commented, "I want more soulful samples," and it seemed like we're getting them based off the sample from the Jimmy Cooks video, and that is very correct. At the end screen that I showed y'all at the beginning, which is also the only official announcement and info we have for this, we can kind of hear a sample in the background. We can hear this vocal sample that seems to be more soulful, and I guess that instrumental, that vocal sample chops will make it on the album as well, because why otherwise would you tease an album with an instrumental in the background and not include the instrumental on the album? That's usually not how it works. So we can actually expect to see more of that on there as well, but then still connected to the dark Metro Boomin production that we might possibly also get on there. So I'm actually pretty hyped for this, because that could be a great combination when it comes to those two. I also want to say that, as I said, we don't have any more info on this, so there's still so much more that we gotta learn about this when it comes to album cover, when it comes to track list, to features, to all of that, and it will likely drop over the course of this week, so likely, tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday, and as soon as that happens, I'll be sure to keep y'all updated, so make sure you're subscribed to always stay up to date with that, because that is obviously very interesting when that does happen, so make sure you're subscribed. But for now, this is it. I wanted to share these couple of thoughts that people had with y'all and see what y'all think about this, because very interesting to kind of see what people think about it and make theories about, and then also kind of see, okay, would I like this, would I also not like this, and maybe at the end we're either completely disappointed with the record or we're really happy with it. So any theories you have, any wishes or expectations you individually have, and all your thoughts on this, please let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.